Ask wherever, speak whenever, etc., etc. So this is going to be Pharah, I guess.
Farah, Farah May. Wait, what? Farah May?
Pharah, yeah.
Farah Hanzo.
Okay, so I just skip the Hanzo part, okay?
Yeah,
And
it's gonna be.
no, what he
Oh
means
no,
is
it's gonna
your
be.
May in city center and different maps,
Oh yeah,
not the
and then
composition
I'll
now.
yeah, the last one. It's Sombra Hanzo. So, yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah. So this one is only Farah.
Okay. So the first thing is you usually don't roll out here. Okay, this
Mhm.
way because whenever you're in Farah, one of the problems that you have is whenever you are hovering, your movement is really slow,
Okay.
right? So the first thing that happens is how if you get targeted right now, if for example they have a widow, you don't know that they might have a widow or not, right?
Mhm.
Because it's fight. How do you disengage from this widow?
I'll, do- I will just die or just straight
Yeah,
drop down to the water.
yeah, exactly. You are
Yeah.
fucked in the ass basically,
You know.
right? So the rule number one with Farah is basically what I explained to your teammate about Hans about the angles is exactly the same thing, right? But in Farah is extremely more powerful because your E, your concussion blast,
Mhm.
is a disengage tool or an engage tool, depending on how the tempo goes, as long as you are close to a wall. Which
Yep.
means that, for example, that you're playing around this wall right here, right? First of all, the first consequence, the first direct consequence is you're playing around here, your mercy is safe. The second consequence is if you get targeted, you can always go and use it as a disengage, cover yourself, right? And third of all, if obviously the enemy Pharah, for example, let's say that the enemy Pharah doesn't realize that you are here, she goes mid, you hit one rocket, you immediately E forward, try to hit the next one real quick,
Mm.
right? Rule number two, you never lose the Pharah. You never lose enemy Pharah. Do you know where the enemy Pharah is right now?
On the Hanzo.
On the answer.
Yeah. I saw
So,
it from his VOD. When
so
he gets donked.
this has a positive side and a negative side. The negative side is that your Hanzo is dead. The positive side is you have control of the inner ring of the structure, right? This means that you and your Mercy are in control of this side, which means on top of the point, and this Farah is on the other side, which means that you are the one that has better positioning because she's the one that wants to go inside, right?
Yeah.
Which means that right now, at the moment you see this, you should be in here to go
Okay,
and
I should have
cover
went
this.
on there. Okay. I'm
Exactly.
not gonna do that. So
No,
that's
you
what I'm
can
like.
you just keep spamming. It's in the middle of the air. What happens next is, you keep going down and down and down and down
Yeah.
and down, and you are tunnel visioning on tanks. Why?
Okay.
Because they're easy to hit. You're just shooting on the Risa. Okay, that's a nice flick. If you're going to drop, there is a big difference here, which is first of all, you don't need to right you can manage your fall way better here. Yes, hover because this fire is not even shooting at you; she's shooting at Baptiste right here.
Mhm.
So the bigger your movement is, which means that you're not dropping at a constant rate. You're just dropping at bumping at bumps. The harder for you to aim. You need
Mhm.
to correct your aim all the time because you are moving at different speeds. It's really hard for you to actually hit this. Secondly, if you're going to drop, just drop on the high ground. You don't need to drop on the low ground at all. Just drop here.
Yeah.
this is not about you. This is about your mercy. You look at what this Pharah is doing to his mercy, right? The Pharah can always press shift and go upwards, but this mercy is just literally guardian angel through your entire team because this Pharah is not taking her into consideration. Right? If you can drop here, your May is going to be in a good position to your mercy sorry is going to be in a good position to heal you and at the same time be safe.
So care about the mercy. Got it.
Really big time, and the mercy is going to appreciate it.
Yeah.
So you just won the most critical fight in the entire map, which is the first one, which is called neutral fight, which allows Pharah to play with this angle control over the enemy Pharah. Why are you going so back?
I actually don't know. I guess at that point I think I'm doing like it too passive. So I'm afraid for no reason. I just back off because I don't know if I can hit the Pharah.
The problem here is who has the control of the point? Your team, right?
Yeah.
Needs to jump inside of the point? The enemy team. If if you are look from this perspective, right? You control this area, and the enemy Pharah's on the other side here. You can literally hover. You can literally cover your tanks by playing here, shoot into the ground, and this Pharah that's on the other side of the choke point, she cannot do anything about it. She cannot shoot your tanks. Why? Because your tanks are the one defending, her tanks are the one pushing. Which means that while you can stun this Pharah, you can at the same time put pressure on the ground. And you always have to to keep one eye on the Pharah, true. But shooting to the ground requires nothing at all.
Yeah.
Right? Just keep shooting down, keep controlling the Pharah, and then if she pushes, right? This structure is like a square, right? So you
Mhm.
should be playing inside here. This is the point, whatever. And she's playing here. If she pushes you, you can always rotate like this, right? Do you know what's the blind projection rocket?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to actually go in game real quick to show you. Oh, not America. Fuck me. Oh, unlucky. I got this from. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, doesn't matter. This is one of the most effective techniques when it comes to Farah versus Farah. It's really cool, and at the same time, if you're able to hit this, it's not hard to do it, right? It's not hard to do it. So whenever you're in a structure like this, right? For example, it's the same structure that the same square more or less, right?
Mhm.
So let's say that you're hovering here, right, and you're shooting like this.
Yeah.
Fucking ping, Jesus Christ! So you're shooting like this all the time, right? This
Yeah.
is what I mean with you should be shooting the tanks and the right
Mhm.
and the fire at the same time. Because shooting like this, the enemy tanks don't have any kind of line of sight against you, right? Any
Okay.
or hit scans or hands or whatever, they cannot deal with you, right?
Mhm.
So what happens if the fire pushes, right? So you use this angle right here as an anchor point, as a rotationary point, which
Which
means
means
that
that
you
you.
sorry.
Sorry?
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
I'm
hearing
hearing
Oh,
myself.
myself.
I said you're echoing.
Whoa, there we go. So the first rocket, for example, goes like this, but then you keep rotating. You know what I mean?
Hello?
Exactly, follows like goes directly into your rocket.
Yeah.
And what happens if the guy doesn't follow you?
I can just shoot the tanks. If,
You're safe.
yeah.
So whatever happens, it's a win-win situation for you, right? And for example, this is so crazy that if if you're playing like this here, right, but the enemy Pharah is pushing that one,
Yeah.
right, and is shooting at you, you can bait this, and I guarantee that a lot of Pharahs, you can see the distance, right, the more obviously,
Mhm.
but a lot of Pharahs are going to fall into this because they are so greedy, and this is a technique that not a lot of people know, right, and you can even do this. You don't need the enemy Pharah to be like here, right? The enemy Pharah can be here, and he's pushing you, and you can see that how he's going to fall, right?
Mhm.
He cannot do the same thing to you because she's pushing against you. So you always have, because it's a projectile, you always have disadvantage every single time. And this is something that you can abuse in Pharah versus Pharah. And the moment you hit two of this, the other Pharah is going to gain a massive amount of respect for you because they usually a lot of Pharahs didn't know how this works at all. So in a situation like this, right, when you there are usually times where you can predict, right? So if you use this, right, and they say that you shoot one rocket, you're trading with the Farah. Usually the oldest trick in the book is basically you shoot a couple rockets to keep her entertained, and then you focus on tanks.
Mhm.
So basically she's in the middle of nowhere, so she has to do something. If she pushes, your mercy is going to tell you, "Hey, come in," so you can maneuver the way you want, right? But then this technique is going to help you a lot. The problem here is you're giving a lot of space.
Mhm.
Giving a lot of space means that you are completely right now completely out of the play, and you cannot put pressure on this fire. So what you want to avoid from this fire is to actually her being able to contest this because she goes for you. You see? Now you have a
Yeah.
problem. Let me check this. Oops, not this one. You are aiming. Do you realize this? You are aiming like a hit scan.
Mhm.
Wait, wait, wait. How did you kill that Sigma?
Pure
Well,
luck.
okay,
Big brain.
Yeah. Totally meant to happen.
okay. So you end up killing that Farah. True, but the thing is,
It's
he
really
still
sloppy.
it's really sloppy, exactly. And your mercy is really close of dying.
Yeah.
He doesn't die. So the question here is this encounter, this clash right here, it happens on top of this choke point. First of all, your mercy is going to always be safe.
Mhm.
Second of all, again, playing around angles means that you can fly out rockets on shots easier, right? Whenever you are close, right? Whenever you're close to a target on Farah, you again you enter in the flicking area, right? But you always want to realize, and this is something that comes from TF2. Did you play TF2 at all?
Not that much.
All right. The projectile, right? The projectile starts here, which means that if you are going to shoot something that's here, right? In order to do this, right? The projectile is going to be coming from your right, from your right. Not it's not right a rocket like this. It's not going to be
Mhm.
in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Because this means where by the time this rocket that starts here appears on your crosshair, a certain distance has been covered, which means that unless you are extremely at melee range, you need to always, if the target is here, you need to always aim here. You see?
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. again, another super old trick. First, by the way, your mercy died,
Yeah.
which is unlucky. What happens when they raise a Pharah like this and you have a rush? What do? Yes, you do it. You do it. She's dead.
Yeah.
Usually
Shit.
you don't press Q right now. You wait till the moment where she's about to rest, and you with one rocket barrage, and then you track with the barrage if she goes up.
Mhm.
You are going to 100% kill her. In fact, in a for a 1v1, if you are close and you hit one direct rocket, you can press Q and kill her in the air with the splash of the barrage, even if she's not against any wall or anything. That's because there is the direct damage at the end of the day, right?
Mhm.
So one rocket is going to be 160. She's going to be around 40 with the healing. Let's say she's going to be 60. It's really easy to hit her for 60 damage with a barrage.
Yeah.
So here, yes, you do it, and you probably can kill the Pharah and the Mercy at the same time,
Yeah.
making this
Mm.
point your bitch basically. The there is something that is more important than cooldowns or especially for Pharah or ultimates. The most important part is you need to keep the control of the map. Right now, you are going to go through a phase which is extremely dangerous for you because you
Yeah.
are going to face a Baptiste and a hand shot range. You can be pulled, you can get rocked. The other Farah has advantage over you, which means that you need to jump onto her. Your hands is not going to be in a position to help you. Your Baptiste is not going to be in a position to help you, etc., etc. The amount of problems pile up like the pizza tower, basically. She's doing the same mistake as you,
Yeah.
right? That you can see how this is something that if you have control of the map will never happen. But this basically bursted you with the
Mhm.
segment. It's usually said that as long as you play like this, as I said, that Pharah will never be able to be of value, which means that you will 100 to 0 this point.
Yeah.
It's often said that if you open Pharah versus Pharah and you lose, you should switch to Tracer or Sombra, for example.
Okay.
The counter to a Pharah, right, is not a hit scan. The counter because wait, what the fuck? Because when you're playing this close to a wall, there is no direct line of sight between a hit scan. A hit scan needs to jump into you.
Yeah.
And that's what the hit scan, you know this from playing Pharah, right? You can kill hit scans really easy if they are you are on top of them, right?
Mhm.
This is something that's pure mechanic. You need to hit this. Like there is
Yeah.
no excuse. You need to kill her here. In fact, the moment she does this, now you have a splash here. You will barrage this. Here you have a splash, so you can kill her.
Mhm.
Like it needs it needs to be like instantaneously. Like the moment what the okay barrage, you never counter barrage. You kill her in the air, two rockets, and then you barrage yourself. Do you see? This is something that happens to you a lot. You're
Yeah.
aiming directly as a hit scan,
Mhm.
and the rocket doesn't connect because you are not taking into consideration the amount of speed the target has, the direction that the target has, and you are not, in order to hit this rocket, you need to aim here
Yeah.
because the rocket moves forward, but so does the target, right? You keep aiming like that all the time. So actually, it makes extremely hard for you to hit direct rockets unless you are super close, which means that if you're super close, you can die, and your mercy
Mhm.
can die too. If you are not uh, used to long distances, right? You can start with easy targets, right? Again, I don't know if you do this, but one of the best trainings. I don't know. Do you do any kind of aim arena?
No.
All right. Aim arena can be the second step. The first step to increase your aim or any kind of aims, you go here, practice range. You pick your hero and you start shooting at people, and you basically recreate different situations. So if you come here, for example, and you can start,
Mhm.
fracking at people, saying, okay, right? Oops. So basically, going for this type of, warming up, etc., and basically creating a muscle memory.
Yeah.
Right? These guys are going to go in straight lines, so it's really easy to, and you can go on top of them. You see that my crosshair is not on them. It's tiny
Mhm.
bit to the right when they move to the right, and tiny bit to the left, right when they move to the left. So this way is really easy to hit directs. I mean, obviously, I learned this in TF2 because I had like 10 K hours on Soldier,
Yeah.
and basically the aiming is the same way, right? You can
Yeah.
stay
I,
up here, etc.
I used to play a lot of CS:GO, so I'm not used to like projectile.
Hmm. Well,
So
then
that's why I feel like I'm still used to like aiming at people, not where I need to aim.
you see the crosshair is right. This is
Mhm.
the important thing. The same direction, but a bit higher to the left, blah blah blah. And then the amount of hits, the amount of direct shots you're going to hit are insane. And then the second part will be, and this is for everyone in the team, going for aim arenas. Something looks like this. Oh, holy shit! Everyone is full. It can be on Havana. Hold on, never mind. Or it can be on. Usually the good ones, right? The good ones are on Havana because what this does is basically brute force your aim. This is how you train aim, right? If you do this 20 minutes a day, this is called a warm up. But if you consistently do it and spend sessions here, right,
Mhm.
you are going to get better at aiming. This is how you train aim. Basically, you go in the air and you shoot at people, right? And
Yeah.
this is really like super entertaining because you're going to see uh, that the level you are at right now, and you can basically, for example, play with music. For one of the things I did when I was competing in TF2 was grind this type of games or this type of mini games 8 hours a day. I mean, I was extremely young, and I was like, whatever, fuck it, it's vacation time.
Mhm.
So right, I played 8 hours a day for a month, and after 1 month of doing this, my muscle memory was so good that I hit every single rocket, right, that I possibly should. The problem was my game sense was garbage, yes, but mechanically speaking, my wrist was on point, right? And obviously, this feeling will fade because if you train for 8 hours a day, the amount of time that requires as maintenance time is extremely high. So
Yeah.
it's not realistic. But doing 1 hour, especially if you're coming from a hit scan position, moving into projectile,
Yeah.
doing 1 hour a day. At the beginning, don't get frustrated because I mean you are going to get demolished. But the
Yeah.
thing is, day after day, day after day, you're going to realize, hey, my accuracy is getting better. I'm hitting more shots. Blah 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 blah. This is something that is going to happen into a match. You're going to fail easy shots. If
Mhm.
you're used to it, you're just going to be able to move forward really fast in your mind. And that's where the music comes into play. As for example, I don't know. What I do usually do is play Nightcore. I love Nightcore, right? It's super fast tempo, so it helps me just getting into the zone really fast.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy playing them. Not anymore because I don't have time. But when I was a player, I had a really fun time playing them, and the aim gets incredibly good.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll take that into account.
Any kind like one of the things that, for example, Orisa players do is grind this type of game modes. Because Orisa is the moment you know how to play Orisa, it's about how good you are with the gun.
Yeah.
That can make the difference, you know. extremely dangerous. The way you go into points, like you are not looking, you are not finding references, you are not asking, hey, where is the fire, etc., etc. Those are questions like here you can lose this if the Pharah sees you and kills you in two rockets. You can lose this to the Pharah. You know what I mean? Like you
Mm.
need to always keep an eye. It's like if they are playing hitscans, you cannot avoid the fact that they are playing a hitscan, and you should always look for the hitscan,
Yeah.
even if that means that you are completely out of the fight. Right? Imagine right now they are playing Widowmaker, and the enemy team is playing here. What
Yeah.
do? Right? You don't stay on top of them. You go outside and fight the Widow.
Mhm.
Even if the Widow is here, you just go on top of her, kill her, and then you return to the fight.
Yeah.
As a Pharah, you are a specialist, and a specialist in this game have some tiny counters. For example, Widow, the best counter to Widow is another Widow, right? Same thing with
Yeah.
Pharah. A good Pharah, the best counter to a good Pharah is even better Pharah, right? So since you have so little counters, the moment they play one and you shut it down, you basically are winning 70 to 80% of the fights just because of that,
Yeah.
even more. Here again, the same thing, giving space
Mhm.
all the time. Now this is good. Now this is really good. But you are not taking the Pharah into account again.
Yeah. What? So go into like an hour in one of those same arenas every day. You recommend?
Um, Maybe 1 hour right now is too much
Okay.
because, for example, in 1 hour in comp, how many rockets you are going to shoot? Let's say 1,000
Mhm.
in 1 hour, which are equivalent to around 4 to 5 ranks, 4 ranks,
Yeah.
4 ranks. So what the fuck? One 1,000. In 1 hour of aim arena, you're going to shoot 1 million
Yeah.
easily. And the big problem is if you are not used to it, you can hurt your wrist big time.
Okay.
You're not the first session. If you go for a long one, you're going to realize players. For example, I did this with Team Spain for the World Cup.
Yeah.
The obviously Neptuno, I don't know if you know them, but the Overwatch League players were used to it, obviously.
Mhm.
But the people that were new, we did the name arena, and after 15 minutes, they couldn't shoot more because people are not used to it. They are not used to just constantly be with fire shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting, no downtimes, no anything.
Yeah.
So be careful with that. But the goal is to do around 50 minutes to 1 hour every single day,
Okay.
off off like a session of training, right? If you want to improve, if you want to just warm up, it's with 20 minutes you are fine.
Okay.
For example, here you not covering this Farah and letting her barrage
Mhm.
is one of the reasons why you lose this point. And then you're killing this Farah, and if you were right,
Yeah.
it's the same thing, right?
Mhm.
The same Farah or air superiority is so important. All right, now you're going to play me here. Okay, let's see.
This is where you said we should have just rushed into him, right? When you watched Eds.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got in a bad spot. I didn't even know. I should have looked for Hans over there.
This is the same. Like for example, this opening that you did, right? Is the same concept as the Farah one.
Yeah.
You did opening, took a risk. In the Farah one, there was no Widow, but here there was a Hanzo.
Mhm.
Right. The thing here is before you do anything, just make sure that you know what comp you're playing against.
Yeah.
Because for example, one of the things that you could have done here is yes, you could have walled this, or go with the Risa. First of all, the first mistake you do is you get out of the shells for no reason.
Mhm.
The second thing that you can do is just wall yourself up, literally, and you
Yeah.
go and freeze the Hanzo and kill him. And then you will have seen the Sigma there, and then you will have no drop, etc. etc. But again, play the shields. Really,
Yeah.
you're playing rush. You're playing fast. You don't left click. Sorry, you don't right click this May. You need to left click her.
Mhm.
At the same time, you should be the one calling targets in this comp.
Okay.
Because you're the one that's freezing, whatever, freezing, freezing, freezing. Mm, the wall again should go middle. And then instead of shooting like this, just go to a side and shoot, for example, behind your point. Wall yourself up. No?
Yeah.
You should be asking, like, when you play May, especially in a map like this where there are so many choke points, you need to be
Mhm.
selfish. You need to be the one saying, okay, play around me all the time. Play around my walls all the time. Because only with that you're going to win the map,
Yeah.
right? If you let them, the more space you let them, the more ways they have of entering the point. So you need to funnel them through one, and when they all rotate together, you wall them like this. But here you should be going in like a madman. Like the moment you
Yeah.
do this,
I should tell my team also to follow up with me because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's why I was like that's why I backed off because I saw like my tanks were still in the mid choke.
The thing here is you need to say this in advance.
Okay.
I'm flanking. I'm walling. Three, two, one, wall. Yeah, and then you start chanting Sigma, 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 Sigma,
Mhm.
because there is no reason for you to focus the Risa because she might have gold. You don't know that,
Yeah.
but what you know is that Sigma has nothing to defend himself. So this will be Sigma pushing. And if you push and there is no backup, you block in them. You don't get out. You block in them. First of all, you can take way more damage. Come on,
Mhm.
way more damage. Okay, you're being healed. You literally can freeze both of them. And when you're really low, your wall will be the moment you block yourself. The
Mhm.
wall will be in a 5 second cooldown, which means that you can wall again when you're out of
Yeah.
the. Okay. And again, you need the really one calling the walls. You need to
Yeah.
say again, be selfish. Where do you want to play? Why didn't you ult here?
I do not.
Ult right now. Ult.
Should have also here.
ult here, you wall this,
Mhm.
you kill this, and you win. You need to be proactive. In this game, it's about proactivity.
Yeah.
There is no excuse for you to lose this fight. You have Blizzard, not you, but your team. You have a lot of uh, or shooting fire here. You have Reaper ult, you have, like I said,
Mhm.
an insane amount of ults, and you have choke point control. It's really bad that you, with the control of the map that you have, you can
Mhm.
engage whenever you want, and they are the ones engaging on you first and getting kills first. That should never happen, ever. You don't. There are two things that you need to erase from your head, which is the first one: you don't need to fight where the point is.
Yeah.
You fight where the ultimate that you're going to use is good.
Mhm.
And then the second one says there is no rule here in Overwatch that says that you always have to fight a fair fight. If they are 4v6 and you can blizzard all of them, just go for it. Because
Yeah.
the idea of Overwatch is with one ultimate you win a fight, you move forward, and you try to chain fights with only other ultimate because that's going to lead to a really good ult economy. You're always going to have one combo that you want to use. This should be a wall right now to stop them from using the window.
Mhm.
Also, the usage that, for example, if the immortality here, right, you can wall the immortality,
Yeah.
right? If you deploy a wall in the immortality or the bonk, you are stopping them from functioning. No pull. You didn't ask for it. Well, did you?
Oh yeah, you can't hear my voice, and I don't have it on because I was recently switched the mic, so Nvidia didn't have it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why.
So
But
in this,
I don't. To be honest, I don't think I called Paul right there.
you always have to ask. Hey, do you have
Yeah.
pull? Yes. Okay. Pull main 3, 2, 1, go, and you do it. Yeah, just freeze people. Okay. Well. Okay.
Here I play Hanzo, but then switch over to Sombra.
All right. All right. All right. All right. So you play Hanzo first half, and then you switch here. Let's say how. So iconic. The first thing I see from Sombra is sleeping. Fucking honest, mate. But you're playing Sombra McCree. This is. I mean, yeah. You just want to go for hack some big tanks. Okay. I mean, the only thing with the Sombra is since it's not the from the beginning, it's a bit of a scuffed.
Mhm.
So if you want, do you have another ball? Taken ball one?
See. Oh no, fuck yeah, that one was corrupted. Wait, I have one of kings, bro. But it's May. Wait, is this the whole one? Shit. Oh, god damn it. Fuck. I don't have a full one. I just have bits.
Ah, it's fine.
Yeah. My one of my friends on the team, he was supposed to record, or he did record, but he didn't put it out. I was hoping to have it now, but
Ah, unfortunate. It's fine. It's fine. It's
yeah,
fine. Um, it's just I don't want to start with Sombra. But it's a bit in the middle of there is no proper setup. There is no proper anything.
yeah.
Um, so uh, do you have any questions or anything about the Farah and the May?
Hmm. Not really actually. But I should be when I play May, I should be the shot caller.
Not the shot caller, the
Target.
target caller.
Oh, the target guard. My bad. Okay.
Especially when you're in a comp that plays fast, like May
Mhm.
Reaper, it's a death ball. They all play together,
Yeah.
right? So you are the one that it's like you're creating ice cream, basically, right? You go in, you freeze as many as you can. Now May with the new patch is a bit weaker, but still you can do that. Just go freeze as many as you can.
Mhm.
You don't necessarily need to be the one that finishes them off.
Nah.
Your main responsibility there is to apply CC as much as you can,
Mhm.
as long as you can. If you can kill them, fine, but no, that's not the primary thing you want to do. It's way better that you freeze two targets rather than you freeze
That
one.
was I actually that was a question because I've seen I use my primary fire a lot more usually, and I thought that was a bad thing, but now okay, so just primary fire using it just to slow people down is fine
Do
all
you
the
know
time.
this type of maze that you face in solo queue that the only thing they do is primary fire? The,
Mhm.
the, that people are like so extremely mad at them.
Yeah.
Well, you need to be like that one
Be like yeah. Okay.
because at the end of the day, like that CC is so strong. And
Mhm.
the thing is, if you have a Reaper, an Orisa, and a Reinhardt that are being sped into the target, the target is going to blow up. Like your responsibility there is not a damage dealer. You are just a crowd control applier, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. And then that's why it's important that you call the targets that you're freezing. First of all, you're slowing them, so they are easier to hit.
Yeah.
And the second one, obviously, when they are frozen, they go down really fast. If you don't have more questions, one thing that we can do, if you guys want, is we can add 15 minutes to another boss review, if that's
Uh,
fine.
can do.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you, Ed?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
All right, then a pleasure. If you feel free, please of stay in this Discord if you want.
Mhm.
It's not the most active one,